Have you ever wondered if there's more to the story of Esther? The version many of us know is a masterpiece of courtly intrigue and hidden divine action. But what if I told you there are hidden chapters, additions to the book that were cherished for centuries, which make God's presence explicit and shine a brilliant light on the power of prayer and prophecy? Today, we're diving deep into the additions to the book of Esther, exploring the prayers, dreams, and divine interventions that transform this already powerful story into an undeniable testament to God's hand in human history. We'll unlock the secrets that these texts reveal, showing not just a God who works behind the scenes, but one who speaks, listens, and acts in miraculous ways. Let's go back to the beginning, to Mordecai's dream. In the standard text, Mordecai is a loyal courtier who uncovers an assassination plot. But in the additions, his story begins with this powerful, symbolic vision. The two dragons, as we later learn, represent Mordecai and his nemesis, Haman. The clashing nations are those plotting to destroy the Jews, and the tiny stream that becomes a great river is Esther, the orphan girl who will rise to save her people. This dream isn't just a random event, it's a divine blueprint, a prophecy that frames the entire narrative. It tells us from the very start that this is not just a story of human courage, but a cosmic battle between good and evil, orchestrated by God himself. Mordecai doesn't fully understand it at first, but he holds it in his heart, a divine secret waiting for its moment of revelation. The additions also give us the full text of the king's decrees. First, we read Haman's venomous letter, a masterpiece of political propaganda. He paints the Jewish people as subversive, disloyal, and a threat to the empire's stability. It's a chilling document, filled with twisted logic and hateful rhetoric, officially sanctioning a genocide throughout the 127 provinces of the Persian Empire. Reading the actual words of this decree makes the threat feel so much more immediate and terrifying. The cold, calculated language of state-sponsored hatred is laid bare, and we understand the true depth of the despair that falls upon Mordecai and his people. This is where we find Esther, in her moment of greatest crisis. The standard text tells us she was afraid, and for good reason. But the additions take us directly into her private chambers and into the depths of her soul. We are given the full, heart-wrenching text of her prayer. It's one of the most personal and powerful prayers in all of ancient scripture. She lays her heart bare before God, reminding him of his covenant with Israel, his promises to her ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. She confesses her utter abhorrence for her position as queen in a pagan court, describing her royal diadem as a filthy rag that she despises. She speaks of her loneliness, her isolation, and her mortal terror. This prayer is a masterclass in faith. It's not a polite, reserved request. It's a raw, desperate, and honest plea from someone at the end of their rope. She's not just asking for courage. She's asking God to intervene directly, to change the king's heart, to put the right words in her mouth, and to deliver her people from the jaws of the lion. As she prays, the text suggests a divine presence filling the room, a celestial light affirming that her prayer has been heard. This isn't just wishful thinking. It's a profound statement that when we are at our weakest and we cry out to God with all our heart, he listens. Now, we come to the climax, Esther's approach to the king. The additions paint a scene of almost unbearable tension. She doesn't just walk in. She takes her two maids, leaning on one for support, while the other follows, holding the train of her robe. Her face is radiant, but her heart is frozen with fear. The king sees her, and his eyes blaze with anger. The text says his face was fiery with wrath. Esther's strength fails her. She grows faint and collapses onto her maid. The text explicitly says that God changed the king's spirit to gentleness. His anger vanishes, replaced by alarm and concern. He leaps from his throne, takes Esther in his arms, and comforts her, telling her the law doesn't apply to her. He touches her neck with his golden scepter and speaks to her with tenderness. This is not just a man changing his mind. The additions present this as a direct, divine intervention. God himself reaches into the heart of a powerful, volatile monarch and turns it from wrath to compassion. It is the immediate answer to Esther's prayer, a stunning demonstration of God's sovereignty over even the most powerful rulers on earth. With the king's heart softened, the stage is set for the great reversal. Following the two banquets and Haman's dramatic exposure, the king is filled with rage at Haman's treachery. He now sees the truth. But there's a problem. According to Persian law, a royal decree cannot be revoked. The letter calling for the annihilation of the Jews still stands. Here again, the additions provide a crucial piece of the puzzle. The text of the second letter, written by Mordecai at the king's command. This isn't just a simple counter-decree. It's a powerful refutation of Haman's lies. The letter, sent throughout the empire, denounces Haman as a wicked foreigner, an Amalekite, who tried to deceive the king and destroy a noble and peaceful people. It praises the Jews as children of the Most High, most mighty, living God, who have always been loyal subjects. The letter not only gives the Jews the right to defend themselves, but also commands the empire's officials to aid them. It completely rehabilitates their public image, turning them from condemned criminals into favored subjects under royal protection. This document is a powerful tool of justice, using the king's own authority to undo the evil that Haman had set in motion. Finally, the story comes full circle. After the victory and celebration, the additions bring us back to Mordecai and his dream. The final chapter is Mordecai's interpretation of the vision that started it all. He now understands everything. The two dragons were himself and Haman. The clashing nations were those who gathered to destroy the name of Israel. The little spring that became a river was Esther, who the king made his queen and through whom deliverance came. The sun and light represented the miraculous reversal of fortune for the Jewish people. Mordecai declares that these events did not happen by chance. They were the work of God. He says, "For I remember the dream that I had concerning these matters, and none of them has failed to be fulfilled." He establishes the festival of Purim not just as a day of feasting and gladness, but as a perpetual memorial of God's miraculous intervention. This ending provides a theological anchor for the entire story. It removes all ambiguity. The hidden hand of God, which is only hinted at in the standard text, is now revealed in all its glory. The story of Esther, with these additions, becomes an explicit and powerful declaration that God hears the prayers of his people. He guides history according to his divine plan, and he will always bring light out of darkness. So what do these additions truly teach us? They show that faith is not a passive hope, but an active, desperate, and honest conversation with God. Esther's prayer shows us the power of vulnerability and crying out to God in our darkest hour. Mordecai's dream teaches us that God often gives us glimpses of his plan, even if we don't understand it at first. And the dramatic intervention with the king shows us that no human heart, no political power, is beyond God's reach. These hidden chapters remind us that our stories are part of a much larger, divinely authored narrative. So the next time you read the book of Esther, remember the prayers, the prophecies, and the miraculous moments that lie just beneath the surface. Thanks for joining us on this journey into the untold story of Esther. If you found this exploration enlightening, please hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the hidden corners of history and faith. Let us know in the comments what you think about these additions. Do they change how you see the story of Esther? We'd love to hear from you. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring.